Hey guys, how you doing? Just want to make this quick test recording. Let's see how we're going. Just having a look at our little ETH trade. Currently running on a bit of horizontal support and resistance just here. Let's take a look at how we're going. Just trying to break through this level at the moment, which has obviously been set by previous price action in this sort of bear flag that we're in that broke to the downside. Obviously came up and we tested this level here, which is about 214, 215. Obviously got rejected and came back down here. Then we had that really nice bottom around that 170 area, and now we made that rally. We broke through this micro negative trend line here, the downward sloping trend line. We broke through that, made a little flag, came back, found support on the top of this horizontal support and resistance just here, provided a nice entry for us, and then we ran off from there, made another little flag, and then we broke out of this over the course of the morning. Now we're pushing for newer highs. So a breakthrough here, and we could really start to see this push upwards to that 260, possibly up to around the 300 sort of zone. So really great position for this play to really break out. If we want to go and have a look at this as it's unfolding on our trading view, we'll get up our ETH trade just in here, ETH USD. So what we're looking at here is a really nice rally over the 4 hours. About to come in and challenge its cloud, possibly get rejected by the cloud here, come back down, make a higher low around this area here, and then make the next rally up, probably come back down and bounce off some sort of area around here, like this. So could continue up, hit this area here around 230. There's a bit of a horizontal there as well on the cloud, come back down, and then we can reset on the 4 hour stochastics RSI, and then break through the cloud and then challenge this level up here. That will see this guy come down like that eventually, as we will need a reset, and then obviously our RSI as well to continue down, and then get another reset. This probably won't come down all the way to being oversold, but it'll probably have a little bit of a dip and then go again. But overall we're pretty bullish because on the daily we are having a really strong push here. So just delete these guys. We are expecting this to continue upwards. So we'll just flick this guy into a nice little green candle because we're moving up. So expecting this to continue up. It'll have a small dip probably about halfway through, as expected around this area here when we challenge this around that 230 zone. Once we challenge that area, probably get knocked back down, reset on the 4 hour momentum, and then that'll continue to swing up because we've got the daily momentum pushing upwards, which is going to provide upwards pressure on the 4 hour momentum. Which we can see when the 4 hour is, which is basically over here. When the 4 hours got upwards pressure from the daily stochastics RSI swing, you can see quite clearly in this area over here that it can get stuck to the roof, can get pinned to the roof. And basically what we see is because the daily momentum swing is up, the 4 hour never gets a real chance to actually swing down properly for a while. And that's what caused this big bear flag here, right? Because we were waiting for the daily stochastics RSI momentum to swing back in the other direction. And then, we eventually had this nice dump off, which took us down about $100. 100 USD, which was a really nice short. We profited this on the way down, flipped it to the bottom, waited for a tiny little rally overnight, and then re-entered for this next move, which has been quite a little nice run. So yeah, just looking for this next leg up and a breakthrough of the Ichimoku cloud here. Possibly once we get to the other side of the cloud, around this area here, could come back down and test it and then go again. That's a pretty typical move that you'll see after you break out of the cloud. It'll come back down and it'll test this area here, which is basically, a test of the top of the support there. So this little order block is what we call this, an institutional order block. This will be tested most likely after a breakout, come back down, bounce here, and then take us up. And we might start to then run out of steam on the daily, depending on what Bitcoin is doing, obviously, because it affects ETH USD greatly. We'll see what happens. If Bitcoin can continue on, we might look to see if we can break out of this 300 zone and head to the 400 zone, but that's probably highly unlikely. I'm expecting this to possibly fail around this 270 mark and maybe come down for another reset. We could go deeper and challenge the 100 mark if Bitcoin breaks down as well and makes new lows. But it all really depends on Bitcoin and realistically what it's showing us here with this move. So we're sitting in a really nice position right now above 6,500, but we do have a little bit of a caution zone because right now the 4 hour wants to reset to the downside. But the good news, as well as ETH USD, because the whole market's sort of moving as one at the moment, we're just coming out of the oversold zone on the stochastics RSI. We do have a bull div that's played out, which I'll show you in a second on the 4 hour. So it's played out really nicely. And now we're starting to get this growth of momentum on the daily swing. So this looks like it's about to pump to the upside, which could see us again challenge the bottom of this cloud and push to sort of this 680, so 6,800 to 7,000 mark underneath Ichimoku cloud, and challenging somewhere in this zone again of our negative slant. This is our macro slanting trend line, a negative trend line. So for this to have bullish continuation, we really need to break out of this, and then obviously these tops here at 7,400, a big danger zone that this would need to break inside of and then get out of. So we'll see how we go. But this cloud is getting thinner and thinner, which is always something you like to see. That big, thick red cloud provides a lot of downwards pressure in these areas. The thinner the cloud gets, there's less resistance. So you've got a better chance of it breaking through somewhere around in this area here. So, possibly, let's just see if the floor is in for Bitcoin. Only time can tell. If it breaks out the top here, we'll be looking for bullish continuation, through November and December, definitely. And, if we unfortunately bounce off this again and break down to the downside, we're really going to have to be looking to play shorts there. Remember, you want to be betting against the break of resistance. So when we get up to this area here, I'm going to zoom a little bit for you guys. When we get up to this area here, I'm challenging the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud and this trend line again. You want to be betting against the resistance. So what we'll be doing is just jumping on here and we'll go over and just go to Bitcoin. You'll be automatically in perpetual swaps, right? So depending on where funding is, generally you want to go against funding. So at the moment we've got our predicted rate is pretty high, 200 or 0.225%. It's pretty decent for funding to be paying, and it's negative. So that means that, as you can see here, it says if the predicted rate or the funding rate is negative, shorts have to pay longs. So at the moment, it's actually beneficial for us to be in a long on here, but I actually longed on futures, which is what I suggest generally you do, is you want to trade against your main position. On futures, you don't have to pay funding, so you're not going to get screwed over on these little areas here. So from yesterday, I got a couple of nice trades. I took a long on September futures, just a small entry, just half a Bitcoin sort of worth at 3,000 contracts, and then about 16, 17 ETH worth, 2,500. So I got about 5.5K on the line at the moment right now, and as you can see, pretty good returns. I've made about 750 bucks on that one, and that one's about 800. So just trading with just a small amount at the moment because the market's super unpredictable and it's really easy to get wrecked and lose lots of money at the moment. So a lot of my Bitcoin is actually sitting offline at the moment. With BitMEX, you don't want to be holding too much on your actual account at any one time. Just, that's the whole point of using leverage, So the whole game plan is you want to be stacking up your Bitcoin and making really good trades. And then, maybe you take 50 or 25% of every single good trade you make. You want to take that off. So, this is a nice little good trade. I might take 50% of those winnings, and then I'll send it to a different account and then take that offline. So, you're constantly building up your reserve account and you're not getting too crazy and making too large bets because, the more money you bet, the more stressful it becomes, and you're more likely to make bad decisions based on emotion. So I like to build up my Bitcoin by making good trades, and then from there, I like to take that Bitcoin away and either put it into good altcoin plays on Binance and things like that, or I take some of it out to Australian dollars, or I take it into an offline wallet and just hold the Bitcoin. So yeah, there's some of the strategies. You always want to be taking profit, guys. As we saw, so many people in the last bull run, we went out a ridiculous percentage. Even in the last 2 weeks of that run, we went from 1,000 to So it went from 10,000 to 20,000, and people, rode that run the whole way of those 2 weeks, and then just held the whole way back down and didn't take any profit. So whenever you're making good trades, it's a really good habit to, minimum take 10% off, 25% off, 50% off, and start stacking that in a Bitcoin wallet that's offline that you can't go and blow it. Especially trading margin. If you get a little bit out of control and you start playing with margin levels too high, like 35, 50x, 100x, and stuff like that, and the trades go against you, you get liquidated. You can lose a lot of money really quickly before you finally learn how to do this thing properly. So yeah, just wanted to make that quick video, guys. Just testing a few things. I'm going to be starting to push out a lot of video content really soon. So looking forward to getting that out to you guys, and possibly getting ready to launch a YouTube channel just to help everybody and give you a little bit better understanding of technical analysis. So thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next video.